today I want to talk about Onomologon. What is that? Well, imagine if language is structured in a certain way, which it is, to bring about meaning. Now, slice that meaning up in parts. Like, for example, let us use the word America, for example. A, me, ri, ka. And then you slice it up in different patterns. Ame, ri, rika. I don't know. Basically, what you can gain from splicing, creating a perception of language and the split of words into specific epistemological basis. So, for example, when you say the words in their entirety, you know what they mean. But when you split them up, it almost seems like they change the initial meaning, especially if you add accents towards the letters that you are focusing on. And I would ask, is there a fundamental and you could say objective truth behind the language and how it formed? Meaning from the language comes from what? The letters in union, or the words, because most of the time we focus on the entire word, but when it's ironic that I said world, because each that would be an onomologon, because the entire spectrum of possibility withholding itself within the sentence that you are working with is the precise interpretation of what that word could mean. So behind every world, or more precisely, behind every word, there is a world. And even when you look at like things like language, which also like, holy shit, you made the truth so much like the Babylon's Kula tower is like, you could see why it's kind of fucked up that we split the language of God. If you split the word syndicat, you get sin, di, which means where, kad, when. Sin, when, where would be one of the many worlds of Onomologon. On the other half, we have sin, which in Croatian means sun. Sun, when, where. And it's kind of like, that is like the split. It's parasiphon. You get the layer of, yeah, you get like a layer over here, and then you get another layer over here, and what, yeah. I don't know. Maybe I'm going crazy. It's alright. It's like you want to understand the reality, but it's like you always have somewhere where reality splits into opposites or two or more um, you could say interpretations. Interpretations would be like the paracipheral paracipheral baggage of your past or of your cognition, which it would be a paracipheral uh, um, prerequisite of cognition that focuses on interpretation or opinion, whether or not you choose one or the two or one or the more, depending on how many options of uh, logic phenomena or logons you have available at your disposal. It is not really a question of truth, whether you will organize the logons in your head as factual truths, which is like the point of objectivism, you could say. Objectivism is a shit philosophy. I know Ayn Rand and bullshit. Like, the thing is that Ayn Rand did not operate on objective truths. She was a reflection of the system that wanted to actually create the objective through the scientific method, through you could say the thing I wanted to start today's video with is actually with the idea of dialectics, as Hegel I have somewhere here phenomenology of the spirit, but basically if you develop a dialectic of logical inquiries into a certain path of process, basically, if you take the system of truth and the system of government as fundamentally the same, you will see that the government tries to form a dialectic of their own interests and their own thought processes of allowing what you are allowed to see and denying what you are not, in order to create a system of control. Not just control like, oh, they're going to capture me if I do crime. That is the line that they drew, as in order for you not to question their authority. They want to control what you are thinking. And they're doing a pretty good job. For me as well. I'm not safe. I'm not safe from their I don't know if it's omnipotence. It's kind of like all powerful, basically. Why was the Pharaoh bestowed upon as the closest to God? Why was the king nobled by the church and praised as the ruler of the people in the name of God? Why was the capitalist always...
You are not responsible for other people's feelings.
I think that for this brave new world, if you've read Huxley, I would say that we need a new mythology. We need a new mythology of a way to organize the phenomena, the reoccurring phenomena of consciousness, of reality, of social life, into gods that function as reflections of reality. It's not that religion is true, or quote unquote true. It is a reflection of reality. It is a reflection of value. It is a reflection of phenomena, logons, that function to sustain the system. People and their lives, phenomena of their lives, reflected as gods who rule their lives, who are entities. And once they become an entity, they are to be reasoned with. Or actually, then it becomes reasonable for things to appear in reality stemming from a point of identity. When I realized that gods from the Roman and Greek times were being rebelled against, as they were too much like human nature, and we dislike human nature. We dislike that we have faults, we dislike that we have problems, we dislike that we have envy, we dislike that we have evil. And so we created Christianity. The Jewish God was kind of evil, not gonna lie. He was kind of a bastard. But the Christian God, the one that Jesus was trying to sell, was that of a rebellion against the humanity of gods. Because humanity of gods is a logon that we dislike. Why do we dislike it? Because we dislike ourselves. We dislike ourselves. And that is why we created a perfect God. So what will we create in order to achieve the new truth? Goodbye.